Today I'm going to show you how you can take a box of these standard 5/8 inch hex nuts and turn it into a very unique Father's Day gift like this. To make this, we're going to use our Thunder Aurora 8. This is a 20-watt fiber laser from Thunder Laser. So let's open this up. You can see here, I already have a guide down here. I'll show you that more in a minute, but let's go through the process of getting this ready to engrave. The first thing we want to do is take one of these hex nuts and we want to get a measurement of this face or the side of the hex nut. So I'm going to use a set of calipers here and see what we can get. We're going to measure here, and I think what we're going to go with as far as width, looks like 13 millimeters is what we're going to use for the width on this. Now to measure the height of this, we're going to measure right along this edge, because you'll notice it has like a little curve here on the top and bottom, and we don't want it going into that. So we're just going to measure right on the edge here. And I think we could probably push this to 10 millimeters. So yeah, I think we're going to do a 10 by 13. So now in Lightburn, we need to make a square or a little rectangle that is sized appropriately. So I'm just going to drag this out. And now I want to make this a tool. So I'm going to go down here to the T2 and I'm going to make that a tool. Now let me double check. We'll make sure and get this sized exactly right. So we're going to say a height 10 millimeters and width, we're going to go with 13. Now we'll zoom in here, that way we can see this better. And now we just need to add some text. So we're going to go over here and grab the text tool and click here. Once we click, we're going to go ahead and type our text here. As you can see, the text is way too big. So we're going to go ahead and select the text. We're going to change it to black. So that text is going to change into a fill layer. And then we just need to adjust the height of it. You can drag the size of it with the little handles just so you can size this exactly the way that you need to. We're going to go ahead and choose a different font. We're going to go with American Typewriter for this. And in fact, I think we're going to size it down just a little bit more. Now to center this, I'm actually just going to select everything here and click on the little align both vertical and horizontal centers. That way we know everything is centered up. So now let's talk about the settings that we use for this. So we'll go over here to our layers panel. We'll double click. You'll notice I have this set up with like a multi-cut here, or a multi-layer. It's called a sub-layer is what it is. So I'll tell you how the first layer is set up. We have the first layer set up for a speed of 1266 millimeters per second. I'm at 100% power, frequency 37, and then I have bidirectional fill and crosshatch turned on. My line interval is 0.01, and I have a scan angle of 45 degrees. And that's the settings for the first layer. Now to add another layer, all you have to do is like press on this little plus sign right here, and that will allow you to add a layer. We've already added the layer and I have the settings here. So for the second layer, basically, I have a speed of 50 millimeters per second. The power is set to 52% power. Frequency, 25 kilohertz. Now for line interval on this one, we have 0.025 and we still have a 45-degree scan angle. This one has bidirectional fill turned off and crosshatch is turned on. And that's pretty much the settings for this. So it's basically going to do its pass at this first layer here. So it will do those settings and then it will go ahead and do these additional settings. So that is pretty nice that you're able to go ahead and run both of those layers that way. We're going to go ahead and tell it okay. Now we're going to go over here and click on frame under the laser here. And it is going to frame it. So let's hop over to the laser and see how it is framing. So you'll see here on the laser bed where the little frame is. So that is showing you where it will be engraving. And that allowed me to go ahead and put this little guide that we have here. For doing something like these, this guide comes in very handy so you know that you get it positioned in the right spot every time. I will leave a link in the description to where I picked this guide up. I believe it was available on Etsy, so I'll make sure to leave a link in the description for that. The next thing we need to do is focus on this. And this Aurora 8 here, it has autofocus. And so there is a little red dot here. You want to make sure that the red dot is on your item that you need to focus. And then there's an autofocus button on the front of the machine. You press that autofocus button and it will focus on it. Gives you a beep letting you know it is focused. So now we go ahead and place the hex nut into position here, and I want to kind of put it right in the corner. And you'll notice that my frame is off, so it's not where it needs to be, but that's an easy fix. You just use your arrow keys on your computer or on your keyboard there, and then just arrow it over. So we're going to slide it over to the right, and you can see it moving. Once you get it lined up where you want it there, I'm going to go ahead and hit the up arrow keys to make sure that we have it centered the best we can. So that looks pretty good now. So that way I can put multiples of these right there in place, and I know that this is going to be centered exactly right. Now keep in mind, if you're going to engrave this with the door open, you want to use some of these laser glasses. These are the ones that were recommended by Thunder Laser for this fiber laser. So I'll make sure and leave a link to these in the description below the video. So now all we have to do, if we're ready to engrave this, since the framing window is still up here, all we have to do is press start, and when we do, it will start engraving. And this is real time. I'm not speeding it up. I decided just to let this run at regular speed so you'd see how long that it takes. It doesn't take too long for something this small. And it's finished. I do like to use an old toothbrush to go ahead and clean this up, because you'll see it has some residue on it there. So we'll just use this toothbrush and kind of run over it like that, and it cleans up that residue. So now we have this daddy belongs to, and now we need to add some names. So all we have to do is take this and just rotate it, but put it back in position. Make sure that it's lined up, just rotate it to the next little spot there, and we're going to put 5 names on this one. So we are just changing this text here to Oliver, and then we want to make sure that it is centered up. And now that it is centered up, we go through the same process by hitting frame and then hitting start. And as you can see, these small names go pretty quick. Now we're going to rotate it and go ahead and add the other names just like we did that one. So I won't show typing all of those. So now we do the name Grace. And we're going to rotate it again now. And now be careful, because this can be a little bit warm. Not too warm, just that small name, but the larger name you put on there, the warmer it gets. So we make sure that that is in position, and we hit start again. This name is Sophia, and Sophia is finished. And now we're going to rotate it. Make sure it's in place. And now we're doing the name Noah. Rotate it one more time, get it into position there, and we're changing the name this time to Olivia. And now we are finished. All we have to do is use the little old toothbrush to go ahead and clean this up a bit. Now you can see all of the names that we have engraved on here for this little keepsake. Now we just use a little 1-inch key ring and add it to this. That way we can make a little Father's Day key ring out of this. This was a very simple and easy project. We've actually been selling these on our website. They've been selling great so far. So I would highly recommend giving something like this a try. Just keep in mind the settings that I told you was for our 20-watt fiber laser. If you're doing this with a different fiber laser, then you will want to adjust your settings some. But this was on our 20-watt. It done great. These were just regular zinc hex nuts that you can pick up at a hardware store, and to be able to engrave into this, I think it makes just a really cute and unique Father's Day gift. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until next time, God bless.